The Halal Travel Podcast.
Okay, so today's side talk. Oh, I can see myself on the camera. So today's side talk is a bit serious. Okay, guys. The question that we have arrived to is,
drum roll, please.
if you could eliminate or erase one thing from your life, what would it be and why?
It's so serious that Hazira forgot a proper intro.
I don't care.
I know both Rauda and Hazira has no idea what their answers are, so they are looking at me.
Yeah.
They're really waiting for you.
You can take it as
Okay, no, the mic's over to you. Go.
Yeah, sure. One thing to eliminate from my life. So one thing, I know people will disagree with me, but when I was growing up and still today, to this day, one thing that I wish that did not exist in my life is emotions. Because I think when you have really too much emotions, you would tend to make very bad decisions, and you would make decisions that you will regret later. And I have a tendency to think about things or analyze certain situations in much detail and reenact those situations in different paths. So I wish that, if I could manage my emotions better, and life would be much easier and more objective. That's one thing.
Right. So are you saying that you want to eliminate emotions?
Yes. So we all become robots.
Wow, that's a very, very difficult thing to eliminate. Okay, sure. We'll just move on to the next one first.
Yeah, why? Why is this very hard to eliminate?
I think emotions are what?
I think before you say, you must establish that I think you are a very emotional person. You must set the stage and say I think you guys are very extreme in that sense. Hazira is very emotional. She happy, very happy, sad, very sad.
Yeah.
So actually now I'm very curious, since I don't value emotions that much. Don't you feel tired of that highs and the lows? Would you rather have experienced those highs and the lows rather than just average out?
No, actually, I appreciate that I have a lot of emotions because there are pros and cons. The con is that, for example, when you're sad, you would lash out and you rant whatever you want to say, come out all the effort and all those things you would rant out and everything. But then after a while, you realize that it's actually nothing. There has been so many cases where I feel the regret of lashing and venting when after a while, once I think about it and sat down and thought through it, it's really nothing to be so emotional about. But at the same time, I think being very, very full of emotion really gives you the personality that you are. So at least when I talk to someone and when I meet someone, I have something to say oh my God, I'm so happy, blah, 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 At least I have something to talk about. And I really, really hate when I talk to someone and then the person says oh, nothing much today. And then the question, the situation just
the
dies
person's
down.
Energy does not match.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a very difficult situation as someone who is very full of emotion. To meet someone who is very stagnant in their life. It's not
Emotionally stagnant, you mean?
Emotionally stagnant in their life. But I think emotions are what built a personality.
Yeah.
You can always be too optimistic, you can always be too something, but there's at least something to talk about you. I like that part. To be able to recognize someone through their emotions.
That's a very funny question, how you look for emotions in another person to relate to them, right? For me, I find that the person as robotic as possible, right? I find them the most interesting because you have no idea what goes on in their head, and I want to ply that out from them.
Yeah, but you cannot ply anything out if they don't have emotions.
You can.
But what if they're not responsive to you?
Means that you are not making them comfortable.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. We'll just visit this next time. We'll circle back to this. Okay, next one.
Oh, next one. Oh, so is this whole entire episode going to be about me?
Yes.
Okay. What the hell? Okay, so the second one that I think that I would like to eliminate from my life is not related to just me, but it's the whole entire world.
Okay.
Yeah, to eliminate pain and
Plastic.
suffering. Plastic.
Same Earth, zero waste.
No, pain and suffering.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's too much now. And I don't think anybody is deserving of that lah. But sometimes you just have to live through it.
If you eliminate emotions, you can have pain and suffering. It wouldn't matter to you.
True.
That's true. Oh my God, that's
It's
true.
just part of life, which is actually understandable. Like once you realize that everything is cyclical and there's always ups and downs, right? There's a way for you to manage them and like compress them. But sometimes like perhaps the reason why I want to remove emotions is because I felt more pain and suffering, and then I needed to find a way to deflate that or like bring myself from the bottom to somewhere in the middle, somewhere the baseline, and then in the process. The happiness or the whatever emotions that you tend to face gets reduced as well. So somehow or other it's just become a straight line.
I think I don't know if I get what you're saying, but I do feel like through the way that you speak, right, it looks mathematical. It looks like it's based on graphs and macam you have to meet the baseline, you have to meet the midpoint and etc. But like, I also feel like if you were to remove all emotions and you remove pain and suffering, you don't have anything to be appreciative of.
That's true. Like behind every darkness there's always light.
So then what is the point of living? Tiba-tiba. Terus. I think I don't see the point of living if everything's going to be the same and everything's going to be robotic,
It's her dystopian, utopian world. It's just in her ideal world. But I think
I wouldn't say ideal world lah, like now, just to manage life. I told you from the start that you guys would definitely disagree.
No, not disagreeing, but a lot of things. I mean, it's to ponder. But either way, I think like about emotions, I think it's very infectious. Like, I think if someone is very full of feelings in a room, if you are not in the same space, but like that, you can easily kind of get that from that person. Like, for me lah, at least it's very infectious for me. If somebody is very like happy, then I can easily get that as well. But if someone is also very down, I could also get that. Like, I think I'm a conductor.
Conductor. Okay, got it.
Not an insulator.
Got it.
Okay. You're not talking about like the orchestra conductor.
No. Like conductor heat, I'm a medium.
You
I'm
absorb.
a conductor heat. Yes, I'm a sponge. So like I feel like if I'm around happy people, like it could uplift me as well. But if I'm around people who are very like down, it will get me as well.
And as much as you think I'm very full of emotion, right? I will also feel like I'm a conductor or a sponge. Whereby like if I were to enter a room and I feel like the room is so tensed, I will feel tensed. And I will be very angry. Like I'll be like, damn it, why must I come at this time, And like, I don't want to start my day feeling very tense.
But you have to know, like for people like me, like you are the person who brings the room to life. You know what I mean? Like you determine the mood of the room.
Very
not the other way around.
I know, but sometimes you need to be a sponge also.
True.
Like at some point, there's something wrong and you don't want to, But I do think that being a sponge is very dangerous for yourself as well, because you don't have your own.
Sorry, I was just thinking of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Let me see the SpongeBob yang circle there.
Circle SpongeBob?
Circular.
No.
There was one. There's a photo of SpongeBob SquarePants in the circular. I think when he's like expand.
What? Okay, I'm going to Google it.
But anyways, I think it's very dangerous. Okay. Even for myself, like I think it's very dangerous because even when you feel like the situation is very tensed, the person who is exuding out of it, that giving off that negative energy might not be really giving off negative energy, might just be them.
Yeah, exactly.
But you rasa macam you need to go along with the same negative wave. So it's very difficult. I cannot be like, I come in and be like, let's go guys.
You need to kind of like not care about how other people are and just be you. And I think that's another level of, positivity that you need to reach.
Are you referring to this one?
What did he do to be like that?
I don't know.
Where are his holes?
I think he got polished.
so sweet.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't have anything that I would want to erase or eliminate from my life because everything happens for a reason.
That's a good way to look at it.
And I don't know, I feel like I've seen so many shows yang if you were to eliminate this thing, you wouldn't meet this person. If you would eliminate that thing, you wouldn't be able to experience this.
Yep.
So these kind of things, they all link up. And so I wouldn't want to eliminate something. But whether or not I want to redo something, like my exams, yes. Like when you get through PSLE and then like you get into O-levels and you feel like, damn, I could have done better in PSLE. Then I would redo that lah.
But then like you said, it all happens for a reason.
That's true. But my mind doesn't seem to learn from its mistakes. So it's very concerning.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah, everybody look at me. Rhoda?
One thing I would want to eliminate is fear. I wish I wasn't so scared of things.
I think this question is faulty.
Why?
Because sometimes you don't need to eliminate things. You just need to be less of.
Yeah, then less of lah, I guess.
Okay, less
but like,
of.
I wish I was less afraid of things. Like, I wish I was less afraid of, like, I can still remember when I was a student in like primary school or secondary school, I was always afraid to like raise my hand and ask questions. I was not that kid. Like, my heart would be like racing if I need to ask the questions. I wish I was not like that. And I don't know why I was like that, but I just wish I was not like that. And like other things like trying new things, nak berkedepan, or in Malay terms, I don't know why that sounds more appropriate. But yeah, I wish I was not afraid of, because I feel like fear does hold you back in some areas, and really putting yourself out there. So even like fear of public speaking, things like that. I wish I wasn't that afraid. It's just something. It's just in my head that's playing it up to be something bigger. Because there are people who can do it like it's nothing. So then I can't ask myself, why can't I be like that? Why do I have to let like emotions like take over me and like swallow me and like in fear? It's nothing, that kind of thing, But like something that is nothing to me is fearful for someone else, Like maybe going on a roller coaster is nothing, but then like something is for someone else, it's fear for them. I guess my fears are my own, and I wish what my fears are less. Yeah.
You have a lot of fears?
I think not the ones that I actually can quantify and kind of say I feel this and this down. But I think it's just more of worry. Fear and worry of what may be. I think
Of the future.
yeah, what may be, which is a very toxic thought, because you cannot control what may be. I just think of all the worst case scenarios that will happen if I do this. Okay, like I think I don't know.
Then because of that, you have a failure to launch syndrome.
Yeah, and I don't do it.
Because you play it out so much in your head that like, okay, I've lived through it. I'm not going to do anything about
Yeah,
it.
and like there are pros and there are also cons, but in my head the cons outweigh the pros, so I just don't do it. And then it just becomes, it's not even big things. It's like maybe I want to go and try a new recipe. I want to make, I don't know, shepherd's pie, but like I have to go and find potatoes, I have to buy this and that, and just a hassle, and just don't end up doing it. But it's just so ridiculous,
Honestly, sometimes it gets tiring.
It is. Someone has said before that worrying is hereditary.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's more of your environment. If your parents worry, you are going to be a worrier. It's really the environment that you grew up in. I'm not sure how true it is, but for me, I could understand.
Maybe it's the bring up.
Upbringing, yeah.
Bring up.
Growing up.
The upbringing.
I understand you. Yeah.
So you understand as well.
Yeah, it's like, why was gini, why was gitu.
Yeah.
I'm a worrier, so I wish I would do that less. It's exhausting.
I can only imagine. Sometimes I just like, I don't need to think, just go only.
Yeah.
And then after that, I panic. I don't know. One case example is I don't know whether you know, but during the VR experience thing, I had a panic attack. That's why I popped up. My head was outside. looking for Mariam when Mariam, I thought the lady from me was Mariam, but it wasn't Mariam. Yeah, then after it's fine. Then the second time when we did the VR at the cruise, I was like, okay, I know the feeling already. Then okay, can.
Oh. Yeah.
It's interesting.
You jump right into it.
No, because I didn't know that it would affect me. That's the thing. So I just went, I didn't think about it. I'll just go. And then after that, I'll panic. And then that's how you learn how to manage and cope through that kind of situations. Yeah, now circling back to Hazira, since we have redefined the question to be, instead of eliminate, to reduce.
Yes,
what
reuse,
is
recycle.
something that you would like to reduce in your life?
Do less.
Oh, right.
Sama lah.
Macam biasa, every year kita punya goal every year is to reduce procrastination. I think it is the root cause of my problems, and I think it's not a very good thing. And as for many others, it's very difficult to come to eliminate lah, basically. Yeah, itu je. Tapi I don't see it as a very. It is certainly a problem in my life, but it's not something that I am blaming myself for.
Okay.
I don't like because I'm procrastinating. Like, I think, I don't know, it's just a circle of life.
Go back to it's all connected. Circle of life. Let's try things in bigger picture.
Yeah. But yeah. Also, going back to Hereditary, I was watching a video before I came here. You guys know Jen Im?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically she talked about her therapy, her journey with therapy, and one of the therapy practices is to link back where did your problems derive from. So to tap on the hereditary thing, so she said that she was also a worrier, and she mentioned that where she got her sifat worry is from her mother. Because her mother was very, very worried of her own life and how she escapes from that worry is by sleeping. So there was even a point of time where for a year, for Mother's Day, Jen bought her mom a pillow because her mom was always sleeping to escape from her worry. But her mom didn't see or didn't because mental issues were not being addressed back then, right? So she only found out about her qualities through therapy now. So her worriness came from her mother, and then her aggressiveness came from her father, and there are also good qualities that came from both her parents.
For sure.
So this way, people who blame themselves on why are you procrastinating or why are you worrying, why are you being aggressive, they don't blame on themselves only. They blame on, they also put things like upbringing into the picture as to why they are reacting in a certain way.
Yeah, I guess it's not really like blaming, but it's kind of like realizing like where you get these traits from. I guess it's not really hereditary in the sense that it's genetic, but it's more of because environment growing up, it's like that. So you naturally, it's contagious. So you do pick up a bit of good and bad habits. Yeah. So I guess the first step, like what she did, is to kind of like, trace back, acknowledge, and understand that this is what is happening, and like the next step is how do you overcome it, knowing that these are your weaknesses and these are your strengths.
Yeah, and a very good point she brought up is that although these qualities came from her parents, at the same time she also know that all they ever did was to be the best parent, and it may not be in a good way, it may be in a good way, but all they did was to be the best version of themselves. Basically, that's all it is. And everyone makes mistakes, and there really is no point to like keep blaming yourself for it. Yeah.
True.
And that has come to the end of this Side Talk episode.
Okay, that was a good ending.
Okay, guys, if you haven't listened to our past episodes, go ahead and listen to them. Follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and like and share this episode and the rest of the episodes. But for now, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you're in Singapore, you'll know that food is our number one priority. Food and Singaporeans are practically inseparable. It's literally the best ingredient for any occasion, any stress you got going on. You know, food solves everything. Because, for example, if it's your birthday, let's go eat. You got a promotion, you deserve a treat, sayang. You feel like pulling your hair out, come on, I'll bring you for supper. Kan? You get what I mean? It's literally perfect for everything. And of course, we want to tell you everything about it. Like places you didn't know were halal, or 12 new halal places you need to try this week, for example. We are determined to make your tummy bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger than last year or any time. So follow us on the blog to get all the insights at www.halaltrip.com. And of course, we are also on every social media platform at Halal Trip.
Alright guys, thanks for listening. So we'll see you on the next episode. Don't forget to give us a shout out on anchor.fm/The Halal Travel Podcast. Your voice message could be featured in our next episode.
Yup, and if you have any advertising and collaboration opportunities, contact us at info@halaltrip.com. That's info@halaltrip.com.
Also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Halal Trip. We're also now on Telegram and TikTok. Until next time, get inspired, go and inspire others.